Okay, I'm not sure how it works. I looked at this YouTube video. If you ever have this problem, you can search up this video how to fix USB device is busy with the previous request error, and I navigated to the registries. I couldn't complete the steps because I didn't have the upper filter file. I did restart the computer. Um, it just somehow decided to work. Um, so yeah, it's one of those things where you fix it, you're not sure how, and you just you're just happy it's fixed. Um, yeah, so I finally got it to go. And see, I've learned about Linux and I have different files. Here's the files working. No audio, but yeah, that's for a different day. Yeah, this thing fights you every step of the way. Um, and I basically just wanted to see, yeah, let's see, where is it? This Samsung, one big partition again. That's not true. It's NTFS. Onto that, Media Kali, Linux SSD. That's weird. I'm gonna have to check that in my regular setup on Windows. Is it on both? Yeah, see, it had to choose one or the other. So it couldn't be on both. Yeah. So I'm gonna add that to troubleshooting. I was sure I had a folder for troubleshooting. Just put in software. Okay. So there's that. 71% of this drive. Okay, I see that. Um, DU. What did the DU do again?
I use the "-h option to make the output more human readable and display the size using units such as megabytes and gigabytes. We can see the size of each mounted file system, how much storage space is used, and the amount of space available for use. Notice that since the DVD is read-only, there isn't any available space on the partition. Another command that can be useful is the "du" command. It displays the disk usage of files or directories on the disk. I frequently use it to see how much disk space a given directory uses. Let's use it to see how big the home directory is.
Okay, that's not really like, it's not part of the file system, so it's kind of like.
It displays the disk usage of files or directories on the disk. I frequently use it to see how much disk space a given directory uses. Let's use it to see how big the home directory is. The "-s option tells DU to summarize the total disk usage of the directory instead of listing the usage of each file and subdirectory. The "-h option outputs the format to use human readable units. As we can see, Bob's home directory currently uses 64 megabytes of storage. There are other tools we could use to look at partitions and disks, but they are primarily used for administrative tasks and, therefore, beyond the scope of this course. Being comfortable with these tools should be sufficient for getting started in Linux.
Okay.
Most people
I
have
feel
used
pretty
a
bad
zip
if we
file
don't get
before
to
to
this.
back up some important
I know
files
that was a big
or send
tangent.
large files across the internet. Linux provides two different commands.
I'll be right back. Okay, I'm back with some sparkling water.
When working with zip files: zip and unzip. Let's look at the man page for zip first to get an idea of how to create.
What? You caught me off
Most
guard.
people have used a zip file before to back up some important files or send large files across the internet. Linux provides two different commands.
Okay, I feel like you need to create an alias because it is like no one wants to press tar dash ball slash this and that. I mean, using the command line is cool and all, but right here it just seems so much.
When working with zip files: zip and unzip. Let's look at the man page for zip first to get an idea of how to create a zip file. As you can see from the synopsis, we specify the name of the zip file first and then provide a list of all the files. Let's try an example. We have now created a zip file containing files 1, 2, and 3. We can use the unzip command to verify this. The following command will list the contents of the zip file without actually extracting anything. As we can see, the zip file contains files 1, 2, and 3. Now, let's try and create a zip file that contains the files in a directory. The directories dir1 and dir2 have a number of files we want added to a zip file. The zip file contains entries for the directories, but none of the files in those directories are in the zip file. If we want to actually include the files in the subdirectories, we need to use the R option to tell zip to recurse into those directories and save those contents to the zip file. As you can see, the zip file contains the contents of the directories.
Excuse me. Okay, I don't want to get like too far ahead. Um, so he's talking about directories. So this, Drake love songs. Remember that? Okay. And we can view the contents by yeah, they're both. Oh yeah, they had stuff in it. Oh, unzip. Oh, we're not in that directory, so I would have to go. Okay. Yes, you gotta be careful. That just know you can't send commands to a folder you're not actively in.
Zip files actually perform two different functions. First, they provide the ability to archive a number of files into a single file. Second, they compress the files so the archive hopefully takes up less space than the files themselves. Sometimes you may want to accomplish those two tasks separately. For example, you may want to choose a different compression algorithm or not use one at all. To accomplish this, there are a number of other commands we can use. First, the tar command will create an archive file composed of multiple files and directories. It is short for tape archive and was originally created for use with tape drives. It doesn't attempt to compress the files, it just puts them together in one file. Before we attempt to use tar, we first need to look at the man page since there are a number of options. We won't discuss all of them here, rather we will look at the most commonly used options. The C option is used for creating an archive. We will want to send the archive to a file, so we will also need to use the F option. We can use the T option to test or list the contents of a tar file to check that we created one properly. Lastly, although not shown here, we can use the V option to increase the verbosity of the output so we know what is happening. Now that we have an idea of what options to use, let's create an archive of some files and
I've always
directories.
wondered what verbosity means. I know what it does. It shows you the output. Yeah, see?
Note that I used the wildcards we discussed in a previous video, so I didn't have to type out all the file and directory names. Also, note that we didn't have to add a dash in front of the options. The dash is optional for some commands. Let's confirm everything was added to the archive by using the T option. We can extract all the contents using the X option. We will test it in a different directory so we don't overwrite the original files. We can see that all the files, even the ones in the subdirectories, were included in the tar file. We're going to delete them and then do another example. Remember that the tar command just creates an archive. It doesn't compress the archive file. If we want to compress it, we can choose what compression algorithm we want. The two most common are gzip and bzip2, with gzip being the most used. In fact, the gzip compression algorithm is often used to compress web content that is sent to a browser. The commands for each compression algorithm are basically the same, so we will just look at gzip in this video and leave bzip2 for you to explore by yourself. To compress a file, in this case our tar file, we simply use the gzip command. Note that the command added a .gz extension to the file. Also, the compressed file size is much smaller than the original tar file. When we are ready to decompress the file, we can use the following command. Notice that it only decompressed the file. It didn't extract the contents of the archive. If you know you're going to compress the tar file when you create it, use the Z option in tar and it will compress the file using the gzip algorithm. Note, however, that you need to specify the .gz extension in the file name manually. Tar and gzip are more commonly used in Linux than zip files, so you need to be comfortable using both,
Yeah.
especially when downloading tools or files.
Okay, hold on.
We have been working quite a bit with files, but we haven't yet
Locate,
talked about how to find them.
finds.
There are a few ways the file system use the root directory / as
Find love.
is the starting point. The file's permissions and many more The command starts searching in the current directory as denoted by the period. It then searches for files that start with the word file and end in text. If you remember from a previous video, the The asterisk is a wildcard that expands to 0 or more characters.
Okay. Okay, there's the Drake. My main goal for today was to get that last video done it. Um, Maybe next time I'll create tarballs and gun zip. I get the gist of it. Honestly, you don't have to do that too much. Maybe when you download files specifically for Linux, you have to unzip them. So that's why I would practice it again. Not right now. Um, my find was acting weird. No shit's for find Drake. Is there even a file in there? Love songs. Okay. So any keyword matching any keyword of the love. Yeah, so like I don't know. I'd like to know. Okay, I hope you see what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to find any word. Trying to find any word that fits that. Wait, is it because it's like a soft link file or something? Oh, okay, I guess Love ASCII is good enough. Alright, I think we're good for today. Thank you and goodbye.